Welcome students. Today we will learn about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are one of the four major class of biomolecules, the other being proteins, lipids and nucleic acids. Carbohydrates make most of the matters on earth and they have very extensive and diverse role in all life forms. By definition, carbohydrates are polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones, meaning they have an aldehyde or a ketone as the functional group and they have several OH groups attached to them. When the functional group is an aldehyde group, the carbohydrate is called an aldose, and when it is a ketone group, it's called a ketose. The smallest carbohydrate with aldehyde group is glyceraldehyde, and that with the keto group is dihydroxyacetone. Depending on how many units the carbohydrate has, the carbohydrates are classified as either monosaccharides with 1 unit, disaccharides with 2 units, and polysaccharides with many units up to 100 or 1000. Some people discriminate oligosaccharides from polysaccharides being having 3 to 9 units. Monosaccharides are the simplest of carbohydrates with aldehyde or ketone as their functional group, and they have 3 to 9 carbon atoms. Their general formula is CH2O whole N, and they are really the hydrates of the carbon. However, this general formula doesn't hold all the time. Depending on how many carbon atoms a monosaccharide possesses, they can be named as triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose, heptose or nanos, and they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 9 carbon atoms respectively. And examples of a triose is a glyceraldehyde or a dihydroxyacetone. For a tetrose, the example is erythrose. Ribose and deoxyribose, the constituent of DNA and RNA, are examples of pentose, while glucose and fructose are examples of hexoses. Pseudoheptulose and neuroaminic acid are examples of heptose and nanos. The structure of monosaccharides are often expressed with the help of Fischer projections. There are some conventions of Fischer projection. In Fischer projection, all the bonds are expressed as either with horizontal or with vertical lines. The carbon chain is depicted vertically, and the carbon which contains the functional group, that is the aldehyde group, is at the top, and the carbons are numbered such that the aldehyde carbon is always C1 and the keto group carbon gets the lowest number. Fischer projection discriminates the absolute configuration of monosaccharide in terms of L and D. To determine the L and D configuration, Fischer projection relies on the chiral carbon that is farthest from the functional group. A chiral carbon is a carbon which contains 4 different groups at its 4 valencies. In this picture of D-glucose, the aldehyde group is shown in red. Next to aldehyde group is carbon number 2, then 3, then 4, and then the carbon number 5 is shown in blue. This carbon number 2, 3, 4 and 5 are all asymmetric carbons. However, carbon number 5 is the carbon farthest from the aldehyde group. Now, depending on the position of the OH group, if it is on the right hand side, then the glucose is called a D-glucose, and if the OH group is located on the left hand side, then it's called the L isomer of glucose. As I have mentioned that there are many asymmetric centers in a carbohydrate, there are several stereoisomers possible for monosaccharides. Stereoisomers are isomeric molecules that have same molecular formula and same sequence of bonded atoms. However, their spatial 3-dimensional arrangement and orientation may be different. And depending on that, carbohydrates may have several stereoisomers which are named as enantiomers, diastereoisomers, epimers, anomers, and so on. Enantiomers. two carbohydrates are said to be enantiomers if they are non-superimposable mirror images of each other. The best example are the two palms of our hand. Across this plane, the two palms are mirror image of each other, but they are not superimposable. The best example is D and L glucose that are enantiomers. Diastereoisomers are stereoisomers that are non-superimposable and non-mirror images of each other. D-glucose and D-altrose are the best example. Both of them have a molecular formula of C6H12O6. Epimers are diastereoisomers that differ only at one stereocenter. D-glucose and D-mannose are the best example of epimers, and D-glucose and D-mannose vary at carbon number 2. The keto sugars have one fewer asymmetric center because of the carbonyl group compared to the aldose sugars. The simplest of the keto sugar is dihydroxyacetone, and the most abundant ketohexose is the D-fructose molecule. Monosaccharides hardly exist in straight chain configuration in aqueous solution. Most of the time they cyclize to form furanose or pyranose rings. In general, an aldehyde group can react with alcohol to form hemiacetal. And in the case of D-glucose, intramolecular hemiacetal formation is possible when the OH group attached to carbon number 5 gets joined to C1, and this cyclization can result in two anomeric forms of glucose, namely the alpha D-glucopyranose and beta D-glucopyranose, and the alpha and beta nomenclature comes from the position of H and OH group at the C1. Ketone can also form hemiketal when a ketone reacts with an alcohol, and fructose can also cyclize the same way to form fructofuranose. Disaccharides are formed when two monosaccharide units are joined by glycosidic linkage. Depending on the anomeric form of the participating monosaccharides, the bonds can be alpha type or the beta type. One of the common disaccharides is sucrose, which is a disaccharide formed by condensation of glucose and fructose. Another common disaccharide is maltose, formed from two molecules of glucose, and here in maltose both the glucose are in alpha anomeric form, and thus the linkage is alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage. In lactose, another disaccharide that is present in mammalian milk, beta D-galactose and beta D-glucose condense together through beta 1,4 glycosidic linkage to form lactose. Polysaccharides are large polymeric molecules made up of monosaccharide units joined together by glycosidic linkages. The main function of polysaccharides are mainly they act as energy store, and they also maintain structural integrity of some organisms. If a polysaccharide is made up of only one type of monomeric unit, they are called the homopolymers. Starch and glycogen are the best examples of homopolymers. They are made up of glucose and glucose units only. Polysaccharides, depending on the function they execute, can be classified either as a storage polysaccharide or a structural polysaccharide. Starch and glycogen are the best example of storage polysaccharide, while cellulose, chitin and pectin are examples of structural polysaccharides. Starch is a homopolymer of glucose. Starch is 15 to 20% amylose and 80 to 85% amylopectin. Amylose is a straight chain of glucose made up of 1,4 glycosidic linkage, while aminopectin is a branched molecule. The straight chain is 1,4 glycosidic linkage and every branch point is 1,6 glycosidic linkage. Both are in alpha anomeric form. Some important facts about starch. Starch is the nutritional reservoir of plants. Amylose and aminopectins are the major constituents of starch, of which amylose is an unbranched alpha-1,4 glycosidic linkage glucose polymer. Aminopectin is a branched polymer of glucose where the straight chain is alpha-1,4 glycosidic linkage and the branch points are 1,6 glycosidic linkage, and this branching takes place with almost every 30 glucose residues. More than half of the carbohydrate that human beings eat are starch. In the saliva and in the pancreatic juice of mammals, there are amylases. There is an enzyme called alpha amylase which can cleave starch to produce glucose and harvest energy from it. Glycogen is another homopolymer of glucose found in animals. Glycogen is made up of alpha-1,4 glycosidic linkage of glucose in a straight chain, and every branch point is 1,6 glycosidic linkage, just like we see in the amylopectins part of starch. Since glycogen is very much branched polysaccharide, it can serve as a ready source of energy, because when glycogen is catabolized, glucose molecules are being released from the tip of every branch, and it can meet a sudden rise in glucose demand of the body. Cellulose is another homopolymer made up of glucose through beta-1,4 glycosidic linkage. Celluloses are long polymers without any branch. Cellulose is mostly present in the green part of the plants, and mammals cannot digest cellulose because the enzyme cellulase that is required to digest cellulose is not present in most of the mammals. It is present only in certain bacteria. Most of the herbivores whose diet is mostly the green leafy part of the plants, they have symbiotic microbes at their rumen which produce this cellulase, which help them to harvest glucose from cellulose. Otherwise, to human beings, cellulose is only a roughage. Some important facts about cellulose. Cellulose is the major structural component of many plant cell wall. Cellulose is the most abundant biopolymer on earth. Every year, 10 to the power 15 kilogram of cellulose is produced and degraded. Cellulose is an unbranched polymer of glucose, and this beta-1,4 glycosidic linkage that is present in cellulose actually prefer formation of straight chain without any branch. And these long fibrils of cellulose can have hydrogen bonding between the strands, and ultimately they can form a hollow helix type of a structure which gives structural integrity to many structure of plants. Functions of carbohydrates. There are numerous functions of carbohydrate. Carbohydrates can serve as an energy store and fuel of intermediary metabolism. Ribose and deoxyribose are the constituents of nucleotides that make nucleic acids, DNA and RNA. Polysaccharides are the major components of cell wall of both bacteria and plants, and polysaccharides are the most abundant biopolymer on earth. Carbohydrates may get joined to proteins to form glycoproteins. They may get joined to lipids to form glycolipids, and these glycoproteins and glycolipids can have very diverse and numerous functions. Glycoproteins and glycolipids are found to be selectively located on the outer half of the membrane, where they can interact with other cells as well as with the environment. So they can really be the receptors and signal transduction molecules located on the outer half of the lipid bilayer of cells. Let me explain the functions of carbohydrate one by one. For example, carbohydrate can act as an energy source and a fuel of intermediary metabolism. Glycogen is the stored glucose of animals. Glycogen is a homopolymer of glucose, and when glycogen is broken down, lots of glucose molecules are liberated. And then this glucose molecule undergo further catabolism through glycolysis and Krebs cycle. all the disaccharides can also get incorporated into the glycolysis TCA cycle pathway, and they can release huge amount of energy. That's why carbohydrates are said to be the storehouse of energy. About 30 ATP molecules can be liberated per hexose unit. Ribose and 2-deoxyribose are the pentoses that form the nucleotide, which are the building blocks of nucleic acid, DNA and RNA. As I was telling, that cellulose is a long linear polymer of glucose made up of beta-1,4 glycosidic linkage. Here in this diagram I show the extensive hydrogen bonding between the individual strands of the cellulose fiber, and finally these strands make the cell wall of plant cell and other green structures of the plant. The bacterial cell wall contains polysaccharides, especially NAM and NAG, the N-acetyl muramic acid and N-acetyl glucosamine. The gram-positive bacterial cell wall contains peptidoglycan, which is very thick layer of NAM and NAG. Gram-negative bacteria contains peptidoglycan, but the peptidoglycan layer in gram-negative bacteria is really thin. Chitin, another structural polysaccharide, forms the exoskeleton of many animals, mostly mollusks and crustaceans. As I was telling, the glycolipids and glycoproteins are located on the outer surface of the membrane. They can act as receptors for many things and involved in interaction of the cell with other cells as well as the environment. This diagram shows the glycolipids and the glycoproteins located on the outer side of the plasma membrane. Human ABO blood group has something to do with these carbohydrate residues. There are three types of antigen, namely the O antigen, the A antigen and the B antigen, and all these three antigens are actually glycoproteins. Here the proteins are attached to carbohydrate units, galactose, fucose, N-acetyl glucosamine and N-acetyl galactosamine.